Okay, good day everyone. Today we are going to talk about one of the oldest literature in the world, which is the Indian literature. So let us read through its description. The Indian literary tradition is the oldest, as I have said earlier. It is primarily one verse and essentially oral, just like other literary pieces and literature from other world. It is passed orally. The earliest works were composed to be sung or recited and were to so transmitted for many generations before being written down. So there might be a slight change or massive change in the literary works because it is passed down orally. So the most literary pieces are in Sanskrit, oldest extant Aryan language. A small portion was written in Prakrit, vernacular form of Sanskrit. So basically, when we are going to see some of the literary pieces of India, it is written in Sanskrit. Okay, but of course there are pieces that are now written in English in order for it to be um, uh, in order for it to be understood by others. And then the periods of literature in 1500s to 2000 BC, principally religious and lyric. That's the Vedic. And then Sanskrit in 2000 BC, present and until present, many types of literature achieved its distinction. Then we will jump to the um, the Veda. So the Veda or the Holy Vedas is considered their the Bible of Hindus, and then we have the Veda. Next, the Vid means to know. Next pa there means to know God, soul, nature, and mind. To be one with God, to obtain salvation. Later we will know how um, the Hindus obtain salvation or their understanding and their belief of how they will acquire salvation or how they will be justified before God. To consider various relationship, to feel oneness with God, to tell glories of God, to dwell into the mysteries of universe. Vedas believe in the universe is formed by God, the theory of rebirth and immorality of soul. Knowledge of truth should be acquired and dissipated. So when one come to know the truth, next please, he must share it to others. Justice should be done to all creatures and should live in peace and harmony. Vedas was the basic education of those days. One attained salvation through the law of karma. So basically, the law of karma um, tells us that one must one must outweigh his bad deed by his good works, enable for him become uh, to be reincarnated into a beautiful form um, after some time after he died. Okay. Mantras, we have the means hymns of God. Um, in the Bible, we have the Book of Psalm and other poetic books. Here we have mantras. In the Psalms or in the poetic books of the Bible, it worship God. But here, even the nature, the sun, moon, stars, and other gods and goddesses, they are worshipped through the mantras. Okay. Then we have the Brahmans, prose rituals and prayer. It contains detailed scientific description of method of various ritualistic performances and secret method to invoke the mighty powers. And then we have the Aryanakas. So basically what I have read earlier is um, the the division of the Holy Vedas. Then we'll proceed with Ramayana. So Ramayana written by Valmiki circa in 500 BC to 200 AD. Can we go back to the first few slides? Ramayana. 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 Yan. Circa 500 BC to 200 AD, about 96,000 lines in 7 books. Then we have the early life of Rama. The demon throws the universe into a chaos as they attack heaven, earth, and the underworld, led by their king Ravana. So, to help defeat Ravana, the gods create monkeys, most prominent among them, the powerful Hanuman. Ravana proves difficult to subdue, so Ravana is hard to defeat. So eventually, the god Vishnu finally incarnates as Rama. So while a goddess ravaged by Ravana is reborn as Sita, when Rama grows up, he wins the hand of Sita in a contest. Oh, the Rama's exile. Rama's aging father wishes to crown Rama as his successor, but he is manipulated by one of his junior queens into putting her own son on the throne. So, because of that desire, the desire of the queen to put her son on the throne, it causes Rama's exile. And then Rama was sent to the forest with Sita and his younger brother Lakshmana. Meanwhile, somewhat similar events are happening in the Monkey Kingdom. Due to a misunderstanding, the Monkey King Valin expelled his brother Sugriva. So we have the abduction of Sita. While living in exile, Lakshmana is approached by a demon who tries to seduce him. Disgusted, he mutilates her as revenge. She convinced her older brother Ravana to abduct Sita and make her his wife. One of the demons changed into an enchanted deer to first attempt Sita and lure Rama and Lakshmana away from her. So basically, that's how Sita was abducted. And destruction of Lanka, the Sita's rescue. Rama and Lakshmana agree to help make Sugriva king of the monkeys. In return, he sends his monkey warriors led by Hanuman to help conquer Ravana. After many adventures, battles, Rama and his forces kill Ravana, subdue the demons, and rescue Sita. However, before Rama is united with Sita, he orders her to undergo a trial by fire and to prove that she remained faithful and pure during a long captivity. She survives the public ordeal and returns home. So, there are a lot of things that we can learn from Ramayana, but let us first look at its characters. Number one, so we will not see the video anymore. We have Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, Ravana, Kaikeyi, Dasarata, and Bharata. So these are the lessons we can learn from Ramayana. Number one, truth triumphs. The basic teaching of Ramayana is no matter how powerful evil is, it can always be defeated by good. Truth always wins, no matter how vicious or poisonous lies is. Because even a bitter truth oozes with positivity and sweetest lie has darkest agenda behind it. The win of good or evil over evil is a universal fate. So number one, truth triumphs. Okay? And then number two, we can learn unity can overcome any difficulty in life. Dasarata has 3 wives and 4 sons. All of them love each other immensely. And when life put them through tough times, their heart were united even when they were apart physically. So we can see here that God has God gave us our family in order for us to our friends and even those who are close to us, enable for us to have help whenever we face difficulty in life. So even when we are apart from them, whenever we think of them or even remember them in our prayers, um, we are united through to them. Then, number three, be deeply committed to your duty. Besides being Sita's husband, Rama was also king of Ayodhya. No? And the duty of the king is to keep subjects happy, and hence he had abandoned his wife for the sake of masses after questioned her chastity. So when Sita was rescued, um, he undergo in trial by fire to prove that she remained faithful and pure. So there's a question of chastity there. So because Rama is a servant, no, he is committed to his duty. So um, her wife has to go to the process in order for them to not be questioned. And then number 4, we have choose the path of righteousness. So the younger brother of Rabana chose not to support his sibling. No? We can see the evil intention of Rabana, but Vivhishana, her younger brother, did not support him into his doing. So always choose the part of righteousness, not because everyone's doing it, it is right. Not because it is a trend, it is right. Always choose what um, the right thing, because as I've said earlier, truth triumphs. No? And the Bible said there's a way where it is right for men, but it leads to destruction. So we have to be really careful on choosing our path. And then number 5, we have remain humble no matter powerful you become. Hanuman could have easily rescued Sita. Hanuman is one of the monkey warriors. He is very wise. So he could have easily rescued Sita, but because he submit to the power of Rama, he chose to surrender and receive instruction from Rama. He did not do it by himself, but um, through or by the um, the command of his Lord Rama. Then we have number 6, second to the last. Treat everyone equally. Lord Rama treated everyone equally in how he earned the love and respect among everyone. I believe even in my personal experience, if you will treat other people with respect, with love, and you have showed them that you care for them, they will respect you. You don't have to ask for respect. They will respect you because you have given them respect. So it is a reminder for us to treat everyone equally, no matter their gender, um, their race, their religion, um, and any differences that we have. You must respect one another. We should treat them equal. Um, I believe it is not always we shall not we should not always agree, but in the end we should disagree and love others as well. And then always keep good company. Queen Kaikeyi, the third wife of Dasarata, loved Rama more than her own son, but her handmaiden Mantara poisoned her thoughts with negative feed. In result, Kaikeyi asked for Rama's 14 years of life. So basically, what happened here is because Kaikeyi was uh his her mind was poisoned by his handmaiden. He gave in into thinking to have his to have her son on the throne instead of Rama. So always keep good company, as the Bible said. Um, Good character is corrupt by a bad company. Okay? So what can we learn from this report? Give me a moment. Wow. So I just want to share a little more about Ramayana, what I've learned from it. So, number one that I've learned from this is truth triumphs. No, we already know for a fact that truth will triumph no matter how vicious a lie. The question that I ponder, actually think of, is how can we know the truth? In our generation, um, people impose an ideology that truth is relative, no? Meaning we can create our own truth. Like one plus one for me, one plus one is two for me, maybe three for others. The ideology may work at times. For example, what's modest in the Philippines may not be the same in Africa. Okay, but the ideology is very dangerous because what if a person would just shoot one in the forehead and say, this is good for me, no, this is true for me. How can we say that he is wrong if we dictate our own morals? No? Truth is not relative, and that statement is an objective statement, no? Meaning that there is an objective law that is beyond us that tells us what is right from wrong. So the question is, where do we get morality? No, morality is already in our hearts. So even those who don't believe in God knows morality and is moral. No, and we can see here that only if God exists, that there must be that there's truth. Okay, and then always good company. No, so just surround yourself with people that reflects who you are. Lead people to Christ, because only if we will replicate a person that is close to, that looks like Christ, or contains the characters of Christ, we are creating a best version of themselves. And then unity can overcome difficulty in life. So we have the saints, we have people in the church to help us to overcome our problems and even our difficulties in life. Okay, so let us proceed with another story, the guide. The guide. The guide. Yeah, start. Yeah. So there. Um, the guide is the guide is a story of a man named Raju who is a moral, obnoxious, and self-interested character. He is a hypocrite, a liar, and a charlatan, and a greedy, materialistic person. So basically, he is a tourist guide. He uses other people to make himself feel good and to make him money. He ignores his obligations to his family and his community to pursue what he needs. However, so we can see here that Raju is a very is a greedy person. However, Narayana doesn't allow Raju to continue on like this forever. He shows Raju greed leads him to lose Rosie, his money, his influence, and the land in jail. And more than that, he has Raju gig as a holy man result in a real act of redemption and transformation. So the first thing that we can learn from this is karma. No? So the Bible tells us, actually, the Bible tells us to do the things we want others to do to us. And so here, actually, we don't believe in the principle of karma, but we believe in sowing, the principle of sowing and reaping. What you have sown is what you will reap. No? So if you have sown these kinds of things, you will reap the same thing. Next, please. Okay. So, one of the major themes of the novel is hypocrisy. Raju is a hypocritical character from the very beginning of his life. As a tour guide, he misinforms the tourists at will as he is has no sense of right and wrong. His words turn normal old buildings into ancient works of architecture and downgrade amazing feast of history. He makes stories about thin air as he pleases with while a tour guide. So being a tour guide, he misinforms other the tourists by telling them that say for example a specific building is a historical place even if it's not. So number one, the favorite theme is hypocrisy. Next, and then not that he's a hypocrite, he's also dishonest. No, always been dishonest character. So as a child, he eats the green peppermint from his father's shop, even though he was strictly forbidden to. Growing up, he becomes a tour guide who misinforms and guys. So as I've said earlier, he misinforms. He's a very dishonest person. No? Number three, next please. He's a very materialistic person. He will do everything in his power, enable for him to have have the things he needs and he wants. Number four, next. Then transformation. No? So here we can see that even if he he was wicked, no, he is wrecked. He can be transformed. No? So this story has its roots in the karmic religion. No? But let me focus on one event in the story where the main character changed. So this is this part, the transformation part. In the Bible, we witness many conversions and many of them are seemingly impossible in our eyes. No? Paul, who was a religious terrorist, later wrote one-third of the Bible. No? Rahab, a prostitute who confessed her faith in God and God in return spared them from judgment. Through this life, this life of two characters, we can see that God hand is not short to reach these people and that he can use them for his glory and purpose. So similarly in the life of Raju, no, where he is redirected, we can see that it is not too late, no, or um we must think um to change or to return to God because he is waiting, he is patiently waiting for us. No, we are running after, we are running before God, and God is the seeker and we are the one who is running from him. So let us proceed um with the things we can learn from Mahatma Gandhi. So Mahatma Gandhi is a famous figure in their time. So these are things we can learn from him. So number one, live life to the fullest. It is the quality of your life that matters, not the speed with which you live. So Jesus lived for 33 years and then after that he died accomplishing his very purpose why he became a human. And for us it doesn't um we- it is a blessing indeed if we will reach 70 and up, but it is not the span of life but the quality of life we live during the time that we have here on earth. So we live life to the fullest, we live life according to the purpose, to the will of God in our lives. Always speak the truth, if even if a minority of one, the truth is the truth. So just like there in Ramayana, truth triumphs. No? We can only know truth if you know God, and and there is only truth when there's God. Let the change begin with you. You must change. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. So many people blame others, blame the administration, the leaders, the politicians because of their poor management the of the resources of the Philippines. Though that those things are valid, we must think of our contribution to or what we can do in order for the world to change. No? Believe in love. The day of power of love overrules the love of power, and the world will know peace. So I just want to comment on this because others has a wrong connotation of love. Love will always direct you to the truth. And if a person truly loves you, he will let you know the truth. Because many people because they don't want to offend they don't want to offend others. I believe that we can speak the truth with love. So even if truth hurts us, it can still be shown, or it will be delivered with love. So we live to learn, no? Live as you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were live forever. So every day we have to learn. We have to learn new things. We have to discover new things. We have to develop ourselves, no? Enable for us to be a better person the next day. It's a very there's a lot that we can learn from the life of Gandhi. Actually, this is also a book, but we don't have a time to cover it. So in Ramayana is story, and the guide. So those are the things we can learn from this. So hopefully you've learned something. Thank you and God bless.